Okay, testing the sound. Let me know if you hear me good and if you don't hear any other noises in the background. Before we start, I want to make sure the sound is okay. Let me know how is the sound. Do you hear any background noises? We had on the last few streams, so I want to double check. Okay, thank you, Shaz. It looks like the camera is what is causing the weird sounds. Let me see what I can do about this. Okay, now I see. Now I see what was the issue. It was on the camera actually. Okay. Was driving me crazy on the last few streams. All right, so we're gonna go over Trump's speech, and it was this morning for Cyprus time, early morning hours. For USA, it was yesterday, let's say, since it's 7 hours difference from my local time here. So we're gonna go over the speech through the timeline. We're gonna analyze everything he said from minute to minute, and we're gonna try to see behind his words, behind the headlines he gave out. We'll try to see what he really meant. We're gonna see if what he claims it's true or what he claimed is not true. So we're gonna do claims vs facts. Okay, he addressed the nation from the White House. We have the video here. And we're gonna start analyzing minute by minute, second by second. Thanks all for joining. I hope you enjoy this kind of live streams. You have my slideshow on the top right, and you have the video right behind. And also buckle up and let's do this analysis.
America, 11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this...
So Trump started by saying that he inherited a mess from the previous government. He means Biden, of course. So we try to analyze why he started like that. So the first meaning is the opening and framing of the speech. From 1 to 4 minutes, he actually crisis of prior administration and economy. From 4 minutes to 7 minutes, that's estimation, okay? He did the border security claims. From 7 to 10 minutes, economic claims and price trends. From 10 to 13, worry on dividend announcement for service members. From 13 to 16 minutes, he did a broader policy agenda, future plans. From 16 to 18, he did a closing remarks and patriotic framing. The whole speech lasted 18 minutes, and it was televised, of course, nationwide in USA and everywhere, I guess. Many people were interested to see what he had to say. So let's do minute by minute, and then I will give you my... So from the first minute, he created the nation from the White House, the reception room, and he frames the speech as a reset on domestic issues amid the criticism he's getting on the economic performance. Let's continue.
Our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hard-working people of our country.
Okay, let's analyze how he started and why he started like that. So this is the first 17 seconds to 2:55, around 2:55, 2 minutes and 55 seconds. He opens with, "I inherited a mess," and stacks crisis fast: inflation, affordability, border invasion, crime catch-up war issues, trade humiliation, corruption. So why he started like that? He started like that. He establishing an emergency baseline, so any improvement later feels dramatic. This is how the politicians sometimes they talk. He started with that it was a big mess right before him, so anything he did after that, it will feel dramatic, like it was, he did a lot. This is how he started. I'm not here to, to give you my state opinion on the speech. What we are trying to do here now is actually analyze his speech, see behind his words, and criticize him, to be brutally honest. Analyze his speech, why he talked like that, what he said, what he didn't say, what he claimed, what is wrong claims, and what is facts. This is what we're trying to do on this video. So don't judge me. I'm not gonna be here to say if I like Trump or don't like Trump. It's not the purpose of the video. The purpose of the video is to state the facts as they are and try to do a deeper analysis than just by reading the story. So this is how he started. So any improvement after he did will feel dramatic because he did, as he said, "I inherited a mess." So let's keep going.
The ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more.
Okay, before we go on, I will show you here charts. I gathered some charts and infographics from the net. We can see here the inflation during presidential terms. And we can see here from Reagan time to Bush and to the first term of Trump and after Biden. That's all we have up to before 2025. It's not his second term here, Trump's, but seeing the history, we can judge how was the inflation. You can see. Let me put my magic cursor here. I know you miss this guy, little guy. Okay, so you can see the inflation at Reagan time. It was more than 10% when Reagan elected, and it dropped dramatically down to almost like 2.5%. It was ups and down around 1985. Before around 1988, it was at the lowest during Reagan time. Then it escalated, it went up. And then when we have elected Bush, it was, for some times it was a little bit up, it kept going down. Then it was Clinton, it was kind of stabilizing. Then it went down more, up again, down, up, like the stock market was going. And then it was when Bush was elected, it was going up before Clinton. When Bush was elected, it was dropping down. You see, usually when someone gets elected right away, the morale of the people gets higher, and that will cause the inflation to go down at least temporarily at the beginning of that term. The same happened here. We can see happen here with Bush when it was when Clinton was elected. The same happened after when Bush was elected. W. Bush. Okay, you see, went down afterwards, that up and down. And here was a big drop down when Obama was elected. Actually, the inflation for the first time went under zero in 2010. Then you got the ups and down. Okay, and when Trump was elected, it dropped a little bit, not that much, not like the same way it dropped when it was Obama elected. It went a little bit down, ups and down. It dropped more after, around 2019 to 20s. And then when Biden was elected, it actually went really skyrocket up to 8% and more. Okay, this is from the inflation. We will watch a little bit of the history before the second term of Trump. Okay, here I have another chart. It shows the US inflation rate. It was, put my magic cursor back. You see, it started with 0.1% when it was the first term of Trump. It went to 1.4 around January 2021. And then when it was Biden took office in January 2021, yeah, here there's a mistake on the text, 2021, it skyrocketed up to 9.1% the peak. It dropped down a little bit after around 2023, between 2020 and 2024 to 3.5%. It was at on the May of 2024. Here we can see another chart showing when it was Barack Obama, inflation. When Trump was elected, a little bit up on the beginning, after it went down, up again. When Biden was elected, it was going up before Trump anyways. It was 7.3 increase of the inflation from Obama. Obama from previously was 5.4%, and the inflation increased to 19.54% when Joe Biden was elected at his term. This the cost, CPI, the price index basically. So it's the first line here on the top. It's a price index. Oh no, actually here it's different. It shows Biden presidency, and it shows Trump up to January 2025. Okay, here it's Trump's first 6 months, and after it's a prediction, and it was for Biden. Okay, let's continue.
More than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said.
Okay, be careful here. He said 0 aliens allowed in the country. Do you understand what he means? Do you catch his phrase, actually what he said? When he says 7 months, 0 illegal aliens allowed. Doesn't mean how many they try to pass through, how many they pass from the border. It's how many they were allowed to actually enter the country. So, because if you look at the DHS, the Department of what do you call it now? Department of Defense, if I'm right. Anyways, if you see on that, you're gonna see that actually it was thousands trying to enter. They reached the borders, but they were stopped at the borders and they were in prison, so they wouldn't let them enter the country. So his word here, you have to be careful. He said 7 months, 0 illegal aliens allowed. They're allowed to enter. Doesn't mean nobody came. Was allowed to enter. Okay, let's go.
It was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals.
Okay, this is Trump, of course, tried to put nice words. He said he went from the worst to the best. From worst to the best. He's emphasizing that.
Restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools and control.
Okay, before we move on, we have the DHS has publicly claimed for the 7th consecutive month, U.S. Border Patrol released 0 illegal aliens into the United States, which is a specific definition. Released into the territory by Border Patrol, not nobody enter the country. This is from the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. Yes, I was looking for the word. So it's, the word is very important here, the wording. It's like not nobody enter the country, it's how many they were allowed to. CBS Live fact check coverage related Trump's 0 allowed framing as partially true, emphasizing definitions limits, the words. PolitiFact also published a fact check package on the speech, indicate disputes over multiple claims. So we have a chart here, infographic, showing actually apprehensions, the southwest border apprehensions from the Border Patrol. We can see here when it was on Clinton time. Let me put my cursor up. Right. Notice. Yep. So we have from Clinton time, how many in thousands? This is in thousands. It was top over 210, 215,000 at Clinton time. This is the amount of people apprehended at the Border Patrol, how many they arrested basically there. On the on Bush is how it was, up to 160,000 the maximum, let's say, through his term, and it was even keep going like that in Bush. In Obama, it was the least at that time, maximum around 50-something thousands. Okay, this is 100,000 here, by the way. It just says 10, but it's wrong. It's 50, 100, 150, 200. Okay, so in Obama, we can see actually with the blue here, it was less people trying to enter from the borders. On Trump, it's peaked on before 2020, on his first term, around, let's say, 140,000. Okay, and on Biden, it skyrocketed, and it was up high from around 180,000 up and down. Okay, this is give us a more clear idea to see actually how many people were entering reaching the borders by presidency. So we can see if Trump is over exaggerated for being the best, or if he's really. From here, what I see actually, it's the less people was entering, but it was like steady amount of people. It was Obama, Trump. To be honest, here it looks like it went like a rapid de-escalate, rapid drops, like from up here at a certain point, it dropped down really fast, down to 20,000, 30,000, trying to enter, then it went a little bit up, and then it was Biden elected president. That's that's Trump, by the way, first term. We're not having the visual yet of the second term. And here another infographic showing us in numbers illegal border crossings into U.S. September in 2024, September around 53,000, October 56, 46, 47, 29. February they went down to 8,000, 7,000. Okay, let's move on.
Control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more.
Okay, I have this on the different slides so you can see clearly because it doesn't really show on the... Okay, so from between 525 to 615, he was talking about the price falling. I tried list declines in gas, groceries, airfare, eggs, and food prices without sourcing. We don't have any official source for this. I even got a slide, the same slide from the White House Facebook page. So we cannot really confirm that this is actually true or not. So take it with a grain of salt. But we've seen the numbers they are giving us, and we can, So let me open my this on a bigger screen so you can see. So what he shows here, he showed on his speech. It's a percentage change. In blue, it's when it was Biden price, and on red, it's a Trump's. So what he said here on for example, for the hotel rates, on Biden's price, it was increased by 37.4%. On Trump's price decrease from that to minus 5.1%. On propane, it was 24.9% up. He decreased it down to 4.2. New and used cars from 21.7 down to minus 0.5. On gasoline from 30.7 minus 6.9. In airfare from 31 something percent, it was down to minus 2.9. Prescription and non-prescription drugs from 10.4 Biden's time, he put it down to minus 0.6%. On sporting event and tickets, they were up on Biden's time at 49.8. He said he put it down to minus 9.1%. It looks good on the numbers. So he pivoted into let's look at the facts. Then fires starts, car prices, gas, hotel rates, airfares, Turkey 33 minus 33% down, wages, jobs, and he's talking about also the 18 trillion USD in investments. So what he's trying to do here is create the impression of evidence, but without giving us some sources so we can study it further. It's a persuade because what he can't verify 20 numbers in real time. So he gives a lot of numbers which we cannot really verify. So let's go on.
Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring.
Okay, I have this slide also. I put it on the screen so you can see it clearly. Here's the Biden food price increase. This is, again, it's in blue, it's Biden. In red, it's Trump. You can see the price of the rice and pasta, pork, breakfast sausage, ham, whole chicken, eggs, ice cream, fresh fruit. The biggest difference here is that for the eggs, he said it was up by 106.3%, and now it's minus 5.8%. From by the time, I'm sure people who live in US, they can try to historically see the price, how much it was, if they remember, out of Biden time, and see if it's actually minus 5.8%. That's a huge difference here.
But we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay.
Okay, here he goes on the wages. I put on the screen. You can see it more clearly. See, it's a cover from, it's a bit covered from the White House text. Okay, here's Biden real wage loses and Trump real wage gains. So here I say basically how much the wages went down or went up. He said that on the all private sector on Biden's time, the losses was 2,919. On private sector at his time, it was up actually, like a wage increase at 1,048. In private sector, factory worker up by 1,300, construction up by 1,826, and mining 3,336.
At a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are...
Okay, he said there that wages are going up much faster than inflation. If this happens to an economy, of course, you will be heaven on earth for people. But is it truth? We're going to see some other charts after. We're going to see that if it's true or not. Let's see. Let's go.
More people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector.
By eliminating the unemployment, it doesn't mean that inflation will do all the difference. It could make some difference, but it doesn't mean that the wages are increased more than inflation, if it's more people working.
Sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America...
Okay, before we go on, let's see some, before his first term, the price of the eggs. That's it from January 2021. This is his first term, Trump's first term. Unfortunately, we don't have I didn't find any infographics of the second term. It's still too early to compare, to see the prices are actual right now. So we have here, under Trump, the eggs were 1.47. Under Biden, the eggs was up to 2.99, like at least almost like double by a few cents. Gas per gallon, 2.33. From Biden time, 3.58. 160, 199, 150 versus 2, 435 versus 5.4. What he milk per gallon, the oranges per pound, the ground chunk per pound, bread per pound, chicken per pound. So this is from Tom Tiffany. This is July 2021, first Trump's term, and this is when Biden was elected in March 2024 on Biden's time. Okay, he talked between 626 to 30 about wages and jobs. He said that the wages outpace inflation and all net job growth went to American-born workers. We still couldn't verify this. Okay, here we have a graph, and it's showing actually how much the wages haven't kept up with inflation. So it's the opposite of what he's saying, that the wages were growing much faster than inflation. So you can see here, let me put my cursor a bit more clear. Okay, let me zoom, let me make it bigger so you can see it actually more clearly. Okay, if you see here on the orange line, it's actually the consumer price index. That means actually it's a price, the prices of the goods. Okay, in the dark brown, it's the average hourly earnings, and on the purple line, it's actually the average real hourly earnings. So that's means basically it's after clearing all the taxes, clearing all the insurance, health insurance, and all this, what they are actually going to the pocket of each American citizen. It's also seasonally adjusted. The US, it's a US Bureau of Labor Statistics. So we can see here that in January 2021, how the price was going up, and we can see how actually the real average real hourly earnings was dropping. You see here, this price up, wages, salaries basically dropping. Here was like a little bit up and then it was dropping. Actually here it's like a peak point between middle of 2022 to 2023. You can see what's the highest peak point at that time, around more than almost like 14% up the inflation, and the salaries were down around 4%. Okay. So since January 2021, US consumer prices from here have risen 20.87%, outpacing the wage growth at 21.8%. Real hourly earnings, here this line, okay, it was still down to 0.7%, showing workers' purchasing power has slightly declined over 4.5 years. Nominal wage growth has outpaced inflation since May 2023, so around summer here, signaling a positive trend for real wages. From here, it starts actually becoming more positive. So if we estimate his election, yeah, it was better, but not let's say positive trend. So what he's saying, we can say it's a kind of truth for better, but they're not really outpacing the inflation. While wage growth appears strong in nominal terms, real earnings are still underwater. The most striking period was between April 2021, here, April 2021, somewhere here, let's say, and April 2023, somewhere here, when inflating outpaced wage growth by 25 consecutive months. For 25 consecutive months. Since May 2023, there's been a turnaround. Nominal wages have once again outpaced inflation, causing real wages to rise. But that hasn't been enough to fully recover from the inflation shock that began in 2021. Okay, here on this part from between 7:36 to 8:23 minutes, he's talking about the tariffs.
America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world, and that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000.
Okay, where's my camera? 1 second. What happened to the camera? Okay, my camera is refusing to work. Let me restart this. So here he messed up the numbers a little bit. He wanted to say, let me find the notes. He wanted to say 1,450,000 service members. He started wrong the number. He messed up the numbers a little bit.
Military service members will receive a special, because of tariffs, Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way.
Okay, notice here the number they use, 1,776. Does anybody on the chat note what is this number? Why this number? It's actually the date of independence, of USA Independence Day. That's why they call it the royal check, and it's actually symbolic, the number. Let me see why my camera here stopped working. What happened to the Sorry, give me a second. Give me a second to figure out what's happening with the camera. Okay, I let it roll until I figure out the camera.
Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called most favored nation. And no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people, that's you, so they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower costs. It will be far better health insurance. The current unaffordable care to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price.
This is the tariffs, actually, by a country, what the tariff he put. In Vietnam, it has the highest one. I thought it was China, but it looks like it's Vietnam, 46%. 34% on China, Taiwan, 32%. And Indonesia, 32%, Switzerland, 31%, South Africa, 30%, and it's down to 10% on Iran. U.S. farmers lost billions to Trump era. That's on his first term, according to Statista, here, infographics. China, this lost billions on the agricultural export loses between 2018 to 2019, the first tariffs. In China, it lost 25.7 billions. European Union 0.6, Mexico, Canada, Turkey, India, and so on. New Trump tariffs expected to push up inflation. So what they are predicting, that the pharmaceutical and medical will be up by 0.9%, new motor vehicles by 0.8%, garment by 0.6%, by country 1.3%, China, Mexico, and Canada. The Orion dividend he just mentioned before, the number, as I said, is not by luck. 1,776 is actually the day of USA Independence Day. And he announced that they're going to give 1.45 million USD dollars to for each 1.45 million service members before Christmas. They're going to give to each one 1,776 USD dollars as a payment. This is a verified, he said it, and then they're gonna do it. The drug price cuts from 10:31 to 11:46 minutes. He said about the drug price cuts. He claimed that drug prices reduced under most favored nation policy. Okay, we have some infographics here. Don't know why my camera is not working. Just started working, so all of a sudden I have to unplug it, but probably it doesn't even want to start. Anyway, let's go without the camera, I guess. US drug prices sky high in international comparison. So you can see here from other countries the comparison of US prices. Let me make this bigger on the screen. Okay, so here on the left, this is a Mexico average price. It's a foreign price and US price. Here's the foreign prices, and here is actually US price. So you can see that US price actually it's higher than all of these countries, and by how much percentage it's higher. Mexico, the price it's 70% up from Mexico, 118% from Canada prices, 125 that's for USA, of course we're talking, 155 from UK, 158% from France, 205% from South Korea, 241% from Slovakia, and plus 679% from Turkey. So this is a international price comparison between these countries and the US. So in all the countries, you can see actually the US have higher prices in drug, US drug prices. Trump exceeded of the most favored nation prices. The order mandates US prescription drug price to match lowest price in order to develop countries. He wants to take down the reduction rate from around 59 to 90%. If he goes 59%, he might match those countries. Up to 90%, it's going to be match those countries, and depends. For example, for Turkey, but if he goes 90% down, it's already too high. And besides Mexico, the rest they will still USA prices will still be higher than those countries. So I don't think you can really match those other prices or the other countries. Spending on prescription medication in selected countries in US dollars per capita. This is from 2022 to 2023 statistics. Okay, here it's the US on the green, and the yellow it's out-of-pocket payments. In green it's government compulsory insurance. So this is the government, and this is out-of-the-pocket payment that people pay. And the orange here it's voluntary insurance. So for the US, it's around 1,000 coming from the government, and out of the pocket money, it's let's say around $200 in average. Okay, this is for Denmark, for Canada, for Japan, Korea, Estonia, Australia, Nigeria, UK, and Mexico.
The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay.
Okay, I'm trying to fix the cover.
Okay with me, because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds as their energy restrictions drastically dropped.
He's giving a map here of the national average gasoline. I think I have it. Let me see. Yeah, he directly insures money directly to consumers. That's what he wants. Instead of people pay from government for their health insurance, they can do their own private insurance. He believes this way they will be saving money and not going to the big companies of the insurance, but they'll be going to save money on people's pockets. He had this in True Social. I'm recommending to Republicans the hundreds of billions of dollars can be sent to the money-suckling insurance companies in order to save the bad healthcare by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so that they can purchase their own much better healthcare and have money left over. In other words, take from the big bad insurance companies, give it to the people, and terminate per dollar spent the worst healthcare anywhere in the world. Obamacare, unrelated, we must still terminate the filibuster. That's what you call it. Between 13 to 14 minutes and a half, he said the fuel electricity prices are falling after declaring energy emergency.
Drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
I've been trying to get my camera back, but it's refusing to start. So in between 15 to 16 minutes, he was talking about immigration, housing, cost and job competition. Let's see what we can get from there. He said about Somalians have taken over, stolen billions, Minnesota. So he said about the promise for future reliefs across health, energy, housing, the three biggest pressure points. He said about for future certainty will be coming down, shocking numbers. He claimed that the prescription drugs down up to 600%. He said that the USA is the most favored nation. He's about redirecting the money, insurance money to the people. Energy, emergency, gas under 2.50, electricity to fall, mortgage down, new Fed chair who lowers rates by a lot. He promised that someone is going to be elected, or the Fed chair, which is going to lower the rates by a lot. And also he said to talk about aggressive housing reforms. He promised future reliefs. So he concluded about the border being secure, the inflation is stopped, wages up, prices down, respected again, economic boom, patriotic calendar markets. He's about the anniversary, 250th anniversary of the US. That's from 1776. That's hence the amount they are giving to the soldiers. So let's see what he tried to. He tried to hide, or he didn't mention in the speech, let's say. He didn't talk nothing about Venezuela, which I was surprised, and many critics were surprised. How come it's a hot topic at the moment? He said nothing about Venezuela. I believe he didn't do that to avoid, because of the volatile situation in Venezuela, so he didn't consider it to be something positive to say on the speech, or he didn't want to reveal any plans about that. He talked about invasion, army of 25 million, zero illegal aliens allowed, crime at record levels, inflation stop, but he didn't actually give us any verifiable definitions or any sources about those. He avoids trade-offs, tariffs are framed as pure. Hold on, my dog, sorry. He avoids governance friction, checks already on the way, drug prices will plummet, insurance money goes to the people, new Fed chair lowers rate. He did some heavy promises. He doesn't address the legal authority, funding channel, the stakeholder resistance, the administrative complexity, timelines beyond January New Year. He started with I inherited the mess, framing emotionally plausible to many because of affordability is real, a single tangible benefit, war on dividend, easy headline, easy to remember. Let's look at the facts, signal seriousness, even if the facts aren't sourced. The weakest, logically fact risk, they are high risk because they are absolute or extraordinary. For 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country. We said why he said that allowed. The trick word there, it's allowed. Drug imports by the sea are down 94%. Settled aid was in 10 months. Destroyed the Iran nuclear threat. He said about ended the war in Gaza. Peace to the Middle East. First time in 3,000 years. Eggs down 80% since March. 100% of all jobs created. Private sector and later 100% net job creation American born. Drug prices reduced up to 600%. Which actually some critics mathematically weird. A 600% reduction is not how reductions are normally expressed. It's a red flag phrasing. He used maximum claim luggage to create momentum. The trade-off it invites rapid fact-checking blowback. So we have I have some analysis here, like the move 1, it was the moral inversion. Move 2, fear, relief, and loop. He spikes the fact invasion, prisons, insane asylums, violent felons. We stop it with decimated cartels, safety never seen. Move 3, he's staking to block scrutiny. He floods the zone with numbers. It doesn't improve accuracy, it creates a feeling of accuracy. 1766 check, the 25th anniversary, America respected. He binds policy to national identity, to disagreement can feel like disloyalty. Housing and job competition are pinned to migrants and then escalates to specific ethnic group, claim Minnesota, Somalis. So we are missing some source data from his speech. We don't have any precision or form like what does zero allowed actually mean operationally. Foreign policy claims and sweep are not detailed. So in summary, the speech he did, it was a triumph summation, prosecutor tone against the previous administration, then look what I fix narrative. He used absolute claims and extreme numbers frequently, which is persuasive to supporters, but also the part of most vulnerable to factual collapse. The war of dividend is a central engineering headline, symbolic, memorable, and postponed to dominate coverage. The most combustible portion in the immigration, housing, jobs, linkage, ending with a specific ethnic group allegation. That's not incidental. It's there to harden a moral divide. On there, truth the script, his claim what it depends on, what evidence would confirm it. So the word informant, okay. So in summary, this was a prime address from the White House, frame around affordability, border enforcement, tariffs, and the new 1,776 euro dividend for about 1.45 million service members. Trump made multiple absolute claims, including 0 illegal aliens allowed for 7 months, which major fact. His operational question now is implementation, authority funding, and execution timeline for the dividend and the healthcare pricing claims. Anyways, I would like to figure out what's going on with my camera. I cannot start it. Let me see what else I have on the slides here. Between 16 and 40, about the Minnesota allegation, fraud involving the Somalis in Minnesota. What do we have here? Closing claims, conclusive inflation stop, border secure, US respected. Okay. All right, that's all I had for you. I wish the camera was on so I could actually analyze a bit more, but I feel weird talking without the camera up. So we'll end this live stream here, and I will try to figure out what's happening with the camera. I hope you found this informative. And as always, stay alert, stay informed, stay prepared. Like, subscribe, and enable notifications. You can also join us as a member. We'll be happy to have you as a member. Thanks for my all members so far, especially my legendary members, Bob Bell. I don't know if here the list is updated, but even the previous legendary members are present, like Gerald, Susan P, William Rocha, I know he's still a legendary member, Bob Bell, and Gasparotto. Okay, thanks all for joining, and I'll see you on the next one.